Namaste, welcome. I hope this video finds you well. Today, when I got out my camera, I haven't planned anything, but somehow I felt I wanted to talk about what is perhaps one of the most existential experiences of a human life. The seeming mortality of the human body. I assume that you who are watching this video are on some kind of spiritual path, so we all sense or know at the very least that there is something inside of us that cannot die. But sometimes when we are moving closer towards that later part of our life, or we have a very strong experience in life, this question can become more pressing, or we think about it more often. From the beginning of time, mankind has been concerned with this question of life. Where does it come from? What happens when the body dies? And has not been able to come up with any scientific definitive answers. And this is because of the limitations of the human mind. The human mind is a very powerful tool. It can tackle pretty much any other problem in life, definitely when it comes to the things we can see and touch. And even beyond that, the human mind can even depict what the observable universe looks like. And we are talking 46.5 billion light years in any direction, which is pretty incredible. But when it comes to the question of the origin of life, what happened before the Big Bang? And what happens after the body dies? It just cannot reach there. And this is, I guess, where spirituality and self-inquiry comes into play. For some reason, in the Western world, we have confined our observable universe, so to speak, to the mind. We only trust the things we can explain with the mind. And so we get stuck when it comes to questions that reach beyond its capacities. And it has to be so. Because for a while we enjoy being this little human being in this big wide world, in this even vaster universe. We enjoy that there are things we don't know. We enjoy the interplay between light and darkness, between gaining and losing, even the suffering and the coming out of suffering. But there comes a time when we grow tired. Perhaps, as I said, when there is an intense or extreme experience in life, something that pushes us right to the edge, or we just approach the end of this bodily life and we begin to become a little bit more serious. And we begin to ask the questions, well, what is this life really about? Who am I when I lose this thing that I really identified with? Or this person is no longer in my life. Or I might lose everything, my whole life. So what happens next? And this is a very fortunate moment, because it is the beginning of spiritual awakening. When we find who we really are and what we really came here for. That we have never been abandoned. That we cannot lose anything. And that we will never die. I think we all can testify this from our own experience. We all have seen someone pass away. But even when their body is gone, their presence still remains with us. Sometimes many, many years after their body has passed, they can still communicate with us. But we give so little credence to our own experience. because science has not been able to catch hold of the human soul, in self-inquiry, we begin to unlearn all this conditioning and to really listen and go to the core of what is our own experience of life. What can we testify to be real and true? I think we all feel so uncomfortable with the idea of dying because we know intuitively it cannot be true. From when I was born, I knew that I was not bound by this body and that my nature is eternal. I didn't read this in books. Nobody taught me this. In fact, everybody said the opposite. But to me, it was the only thing I could say with absolute certainty. I know it's not like this for everyone. And a lot of people struggle with the idea of eternity and life beyond the visible. And this is because awakening happens in stages and over many lifetimes. But there comes a point when we all are compelled to look inside and to find what we really came here for. The answer to all our questions. The end of suffering and longing. We begin to see that everything in life comes and goes. All the situations, the experiences, the emotions, but that there is something inside of us that does not change. We often call it the witness or the observer that has the ability to observe all these things come and go rather than identify with them. So we can meet life with much more peace and equanimity. But self-inquiry goes much further than this. Strategies to make life better as a person. It exposes the whole concept of a person. And with one blow, gets rid of all the problems. Even the witness can be observed from a place that is not personal. No separate sense of I, but rather a sense of beingness that has no beginning and no end. The body has to die to come here, meaning that illusion of separation and mortality. In a way, we have to experience life in this form so that we make all these experiences that ultimately bring us back here to our eternal nature. And at the same time, nothing happens at all. We cannot understand this with the mind. We must drop our attention from the mind into the heart. May we all find our way back here swiftly to the peace, the light, the truth that we are, and never suffer again. Amen. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up, and if you like, subscribe to my channel so we can share these beautiful moments together again and stay connected. All my love to you.